Hi guys, I'm Brian Latimer, FLW Tour Pro here. Today I'm going to talk about why I think it's very important for bass anglers in particular to learn how to fish for different species of fish. During the off season, when I'm not actually fishing tournaments, I really enjoy getting out there chasing different species of fish. There's two in particular that I like to chase here at home. That's striper and hybrid. I'll put those in the same category, and I like to fish for crappie as well. Fishing for those two different species of fish, I think, makes me a more well-rounded angler. I get to practice my finesse tactics a little bit more when I'm fishing for crappie. And when I fish for striper, I learn how to power fish and learn how to migrate with pelagic striper that really just chase bait out in the middle of nowhere. As well as I learned a lot about my graphs and how to interpret bait, fish on my home lake. Where you live, it may not be striper or crappie. It may be fishing for walleye or fishing for a saltwater species like redfish. But either or, that's a great way to hone some of the skills that you'll use in bass fishing, and also just give you an outlet so you can have more fun. A lot of times those species of fish are a little bit easier to catch and the populations are a little bit bigger, so you're going to catch more fish and you're going to build confidence in some of the strategies and techniques that you would use when you're bass fishing. What I've found is there's three things that you have to look for no matter what the species of fish is. It doesn't matter if it's crappie, redfish, bass, spotted bass, shoal bass, it doesn't matter. There's three things that you really need to look for, and it's going to make you a better bass angler once you start to broaden your horizons and fish for different species of fish. Number one is the habitat. You really have to be attentive to whatever species that you're trying to target. What is the preferred habitat of that particular species? Do they like shallow water? Do they like deep water? Do they like shallow water in close proximity to deep water? Those things are very important in understanding the species and being able to have a successful trip out there on the water. Number two is understanding the bait source or the food source of that particular species. No matter what the species is, they have to eat to survive. And I can guarantee you, whatever they eat, they're going to follow that bait source. So if you understand the life cycle of the bait source, you're definitely going to be better at targeting that particular species of fish, because they're going to follow that particular bait source all year long. Number three is understanding the reproductive regimen of each species. Knowing when that fish spawns, how long they spawn, and what they like to spawn around is very important. And you can use those tactics and those things, those observations, also to make you a better bass angler as well. You know, growing up here in the upstate of South Carolina, fishing for striper, there's two things that really helped me by striper fishing. When I'm out there striper fishing, I really use my electronics a lot. I use it for the side imaging, for finding structure and finding bait fish and so forth. I can go over a hump or over a tree line or a river channel, and I can scan over their entire area and cover a lot of water. And just fishing for striper, you're going to have more opportunities to actually graph fish and learn how to interpret what your graph is telling you. A lot of times when you're bass fishing, you don't have that many opportunities to actually graph the fish. So you don't get practice and you're not as used to looking at what you're supposed to look for. But having those opportunities when you're out there striper fishing has really showed me what movement looks like on the screen. It's, you know, 2D sonar is always going to be a part of our fishing. I'm really a fan of a lot of the new technology that's come along with side scan and side imaging and all the different pan optics and everything. I think all the things are great, and that's going to be a big part of where fishing goes in the future. But 2D sonar, I think, is always going to be a part of fishing, and striper fishing is a great way for you guys that are normally shallow water fishermen to become better offshore fishermen, number one, because you have to follow those schools. They really just follow schools of bait fish. They're in one place one day and they're going a mile, 2 miles, 3 miles, 10 miles down the lake the next day. And you really have to learn to adjust to those things. And that can help you by fishing for striper. That'll help you to adjust to them because you have more opportunities to adjust to the fish. I get to practice out there using my 2D sonar I use a jigging spoon a lot. There's only a few baits that I use to catch these fish, but I use my graphs a lot, and I depend on watching the environment. Is it windy? Is it cold? Are there birds flying? Is the bait high in the water column? I use those things that I see on my graph and with my eyes physically that I can see above the water to determine how I need to target those fish, and that's very important. For me, going out there fishing for crappie is a great way to hone my skills with finesse fishing. I know a lot of guys are power fishermen are not quite as comfortable and don't have a lot of confidence in using light tackle. Well, if you have that problem, I would suggest that you go crappie fishing a little bit more. You're going to have more opportunities to land and to catch fish and make presentations with light tackle. A lot of times you're going to be using 1/32 ounce, 1/64 ounce small jigs, small crappie plastics and small hair jigs, and those are great ways to become more comfortable with fishing with light tackle, 4, 5, 6 pound test line, and spinning tackle. So if you're having trouble out there gaining confidence in your bass game with spinning tackle, and you're looking to add that into your arsenal when it comes to your tournament bass fishing, definitely try to get some confidence out there with a different species. It might not be crappie for you, but go out there and try to catch some saltwater species or some of the smaller species with spinning tackle, and you're going to gain some confidence in your spinning and your light tackle game, and it's going to make you a better bass angler. While fishing for a different species isn't the only way that you can gain confidence in a new technique or tactic, there's definitely one that you can pick up a few new skills that'll help you become a better bass angler and gain more confidence. As always, thanks for taking time to watch this video today. I hope you guys learned something. Make sure you come back next Thursday for a brand new video on how to make you become a better bass fisherman.